Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dead Last Jack back with another video. Hey, today I've got a fairly short video for you. Just gonna go over a couple cards that may be good investments. Football season starts today. Today's Thursday. The Chiefs play the Texans tonight, and then the full schedule kicks off on Sunday. Go Ravens, as you see there in the background. But anyway, I want to throw out a couple last minute investment purchases if you haven't already got them. And as any of you all know, card prices have been crazy, and football card prices are starting to go up with the season about to start. A lot of the position players are starting to go up as well. It's not just quarterbacks anymore. And I look for defensive players to kind of pick up a little bit also. That'll remain to be seen. But anyway, a couple of my guys that I think could be good investments, and I'm not saying run out and buy them, and I'm not saying that you're going to make money off these cards, and I actually collect one of these guys already. Let's get right to it. First of all, we'll start with the guy that I collect, and that is Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson had a great year a few years ago, like 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, and then he had a subpar season after that, blew his ACL out the following season on the first pass he caught. And then he had a comeback year. And then last year he had like 1,100 yards and 7 or 9 touchdowns, something like that. So pretty good for a Chicago team that did not have much of a passing offense. And I believe he'll have another good season this year. And I think Mitchell Trubisky is the starting quarterback, but who knows if he'll stay in there all season or not. With him back in good physical condition and with potential of changes up there in Chicago, I think he'll have another decent year, probably another 1,000+ yards, probably another 8 to 10, 12 touchdowns. And I think that's a good sign for his card prices, especially if Chicago can squeak out a winning record. They got the defense for it. They just need to get their offense together. Next up is a quarterback that that everybody's kind of forgotten about. And I noticed some of his cards are starting to raise in price. And he wasn't cheap in the past, but with him being out most of last season and the team kind of forgotten about, Ben Roethlisberger. And obviously I'm a Ravens fan, I'm not a Steelers fan, so I'm not saying that for any reason other than I believe his card prices stand to take a jump, especially if they start out with a winning record like they usually do. They usually start out pretty hot and win 4 or 5 of their first 6 games. And I haven't seen their schedule. I don't know who they're playing in what week, but they can definitely do that. I mean, they ended up with a winning record last year, and he didn't play most of the season. So with Ben being back and he has plenty of weapons, you got Juju. They always have a solid running game. James Washington was coming around towards the end of last year. They should have a pretty decent team again this year. So with that being said, Roethlisberger's prices stand to take a hike as well. So might want to keep track of some of those. I have already purchased a couple of his cards myself with the intent to sell them off, whether I make anything or whether I just sell them off. I mean, he's a Steeler. I don't need him. But anyway, another veteran quarterback that I think the prices are low on, and that is Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's cards are not super expensive either, so they would be a good investment. Now, obviously, the Falcons have up and down years. One year they'll make the Super Bowl, the next year they'll have a losing record. And he is another one who has plenty of weapons. I mean, Julio Jones is still one of the top receivers in the league, and Calvin Ridley is expected to be really good. And they got Todd Gurley, which with his knee trouble, he's not what he was 3 years ago, but he's still a very valuable weapon on the field, catching out of the backfield and rushing. So I think Matt Ryan could have another good year, and he's starting to accumulate quite a few stats also because he has been in the league since 2008. So you got to start looking at the possibility of his long-term status and maybe a Hall of Fame ballot down the road. So I think Matt Ryan cards are very affordable and have room to grow. So that is a potential buying opportunity. With him, I'll throw in that Calvin Ridley that I mentioned. Also, his cards have started going up, but with Julio Jones still the number one, Calvin Ridley still has room to grow as well. And if he turns out to be as good as they anticipate, those are probably good pickups right at the moment also. Another good buy right now, in my opinion, is Green Bay Packers running back Aaron Jones. And I showed you one of his Prism rookies in my last video that I had purchased, the green version. His cards are starting to get a little lift, but if he continues to play the way he did last year and in previous seasons, now previous seasons he had been injured, but if he continues to play the way he did last year, I think his cards will eventually get to the point of like an Alvin Kamara or maybe a Saquon Barkley. Now, I'm not saying he's as good as those two, but he's pretty damn good if you pay attention to stats and watch the guy play. So I think Aaron Jones is a good pickup as well. So that's my picks. If you're looking to invest some money into some football cards before the season starts. So just a quick rundown of those again. You got Allen Robinson, Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, and Aaron Jones. And obviously there's plenty more. That's just the ones that I'm personally looking at as possible pickups. I'm sure you could name a dozen others. But a lot of the real big names have already took off and starting to get out of reach. So if you want to pick up some good players at some decent prices and maybe potentially make some money off of them later in the year or in a couple years in some cases, that's some of the guys I'm looking at. But that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you on the flip side.